The Guardians are getting set, to take on the Brewers this weekend and the Yankees after. We have 100+ games of information on the Guardians. I'm curious, in your guys' opinion, can we learn anything new about this Guardians team over the next 2 series against 2 very quality opponents in New York and Milwaukee that we haven't already learned, or something we don't already know about this team before?
I don't think you can really learn anything new. Yeah. I think you can increase your confidence. On the Guardian show this morning, if you didn't watch it, I asked Zach Meisel, I said, is this the most confident you've been in the starting rotation since Shane Bieber got hurt? And we kind of talked about it for a little bit. In the end, we both decided yes.
Yeah.
Now, it may be short-sighted because Matthew Boyd's made 1 start. It was great, but it's 1 start. Alex Cobb's made 2, and his second start was really good. Obviously, Gavin Williams is coming off his best start of the year, and we know Tanner Bybee, for the most part, has been very good this year.
He's been the one reliable.
Yes.
I hate to say that because Lively has too.
Although the last 2 starts, he's struggled.
He seems to be going the other way.
Yeah. So Matthew Boyd and Cobb feel like, and we don't know, and Matthew Boyd doesn't have a great tracker. Cobb does. Cobb's been a pretty solid pitcher. They feel like significant upgrades right now for Cantillo and Carrasco and the way McKenzie pitched this year and the way Allen's pitched this year. So I do have more confidence. So that can be increased. Like, I've really got my eye on Gavin Williams tonight, going against Aaron Civale, by the way. Because Gavin Williams has been inconsistent since he's been back, which is not a shocker because he missed half the season. Right. He's still, he's kind of towards the end of spring training now at this point. But if he can follow up what was clearly his best start of the year and his most efficient start of the year his last time out, and do it again tonight against a pretty surprising Brewers team that's been very good, I will be really impressed. I don't know that I'll learn anything, but I'll be more confident in some of the guys who have pitched well recently.
Okay.
For me, it's still the hitting. I mean, the hitting took a big dive. What was that, July? We couldn't hit anything.
Yeah.
And it seems like ever since we got into August, probably the end of July, the hitting has improved. Still not as been consistent as I like. I mean, Jimenez had 3 hits 2 nights ago, which was, if you continue to do that, man.
Because he's been a disappointment.
Yeah, he do that.
Well, and he's still not hitting. Now, he got a double that last at bat that kind of sealed the game.
I think he's
on
approaching 260.
Yeah, and it's just,
but we need it in
production.
We need it in
the
playoffs.
The hitting he's doing.
We still need it in the playoffs, and I think that
you,
these 2 series, when they play the Yankees, is it in New York?
It is in New York, yeah.
Okay, you talked about it. There's some
players, I want nothing to do with the Yankees in a deciding game in the playoffs.
I don't either.
Not in the Bronx.
Especially there.
Not in the Bronx.
So for me, that's an important game because if they do have to go there in a big place like the Yankees is, I want to see if they perform. Can they hit these home runs, or is it the moment too big? It's too much crowd noise and all of these things. Does that moment get to them? So for me, I'm putting a lot of stock in that Yankees series because it's the Yankees.
I'm not getting enough production out of the rest of these dudes. Like besides
talking about the hitting,
besides Naylor, Ramirez. Quan's going to give you something.
I need Lane Thomas.
But that's like.
How's Quan doing in his search for 400?
I haven't seen him in a while.
By the way,
let G finish his statement.
By the way, that 400, boy.
He's now 3rd in the American League in batting.
Let's just say your hair is safe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But other than that, man, look, some of that stuff going to dissipate. Like some of these guys, y'all know this. You can't be counting on. If you're gonna count on Jimenez or some of these other dudes in Tyler Freeman in the playoffs, that's not happening. These guys are not getting no hits in the playoffs, and if they do get hits, these are singles. These is I'm on base for once. There's not no 2-3-run home runs. Even the home runs they've been getting have been solo shots. So for me, I need them to have some consistent production.
Dang, that's terrible.
Look at that.
Titus is going to have a better line against me today.
That is terrible.
So if you got in Yankee Stadium, you got Lane Thomas, you got Will Brennan.
In fairness to him, it's only been 2 weeks.
I'm just saying though. But we talk about going to Yankee Stadium and you down 2. And it's 2 ducks on the pond. Is he hitting a 3-run home run?
Oh.
What's funny is if you look at the back of his baseball card, you'd say, he's got a pretty good chance.
Sure.
But just don't look at the 2024
Don't look
in a
at this
Cleveland
right now.
Give him some time.
All I need to know is when they go to the Yankees, I need John Kenzie to play. Because if John Kenzie sent it over the fence, I don't want to hear nothing else. No more. That kid should be playing every single day. And he's going to get me my 20 home runs.
He's going to play a lot right now. Now, I will... we do need to keep in mind, and I said the other day that John Kenzie, right now, because there's so many weak spots in the bottom lineup, and he's got prodigious power that you got to play him every day. But keep in mind, he's got holes in his game. Like,
Of course he does.
Well,
he does.
his plate discipline is terrible.
his plate discipline is terrible. That's going to be like, is he going to be Oscar Gonzalez and Franmil Reyes, or can he develop? Right?
Yeah.
He's got, and it's something that's hard to do during the season. But this offseason, he's got to become more disciplined at the plate, because when you make a mistake to him, he don't just hit a home run. He destroys the baseball.
Yes, he does.
He's a destroyer of baseball. I mean,
Exactly what he is.
Is it a mistake that they don't have, like, right now, everybody comes to the ballpark, and I like the fact that they come to the ballpark ready because you don't know if your number's going to be called today, right?
yeah.
Does that work in playoff series?
No. We talked about that, Bull.
Does
And I
that
don't think
work?
either one of us love that idea. In the playoffs, it's about rhythm.
Yeah.
Now, you get matchups based on starting pitching.
Sure.
Way more than you do in the regular season. But it's still, if you're getting 3 at-bats in a series, like you just can't get into any rhythm.
Especially,
it's hard.
especially the way they play bullpens. You're not going to see a guy twice. You're going to get one
I
guy.
think the only way that works, and that's not really the case with the Guardians, is if it's somebody that has been a platoon player their whole career.
They're used to it.
You look at Jock Peterson of the Diamondbacks, who's having a great year.
Yeah.
He don't play against lefties, period.
Yep, you're right.
So he only plays against righties. He knows that. It's been going on a couple of years, and he kills righties. So if you're used to that, but they don't have guys that are used to platooning because they were all starters in the minors or they've been starters in the majors.
Now, that's a great point. For me, I don't know that I can learn anything because, like you said, there's 100 games of hay in the barn.
Yeah.
The things I'll be looking for, how do our pitchers handle the superstar bats of the Yankees? Unlike the Guardians lineup, where you can work around the top 4, you can't do that with the Yankees. There's really, I mean, look.
I don't love the bottom of their lineup
I don't love it either,
It's
but
better than
compared to ours,
but
we've
yes.
got 3 guys in our lineup that don't hit their weight.
Yeah, right.
You can't have that, Bull.
No.
And so I think with the Yankees, you got to be very selective. Soto can't see pitches. Judge can't see pitches. It goes on too. It gets.
I mean,
it
Judge
gets pretty,
is ridiculous, right?
Judge is he's another world level right now.
And the fact that he has all that power and he's that big and he's second in batting average in the American League is insane.
That's what's scary. Now,
that's crazy.
He's been an abject
Bobby Witt Jr.
disaster in the playoffs.
Against the Guardians, especially. Yeah.
Like, he can't buy hits
It's
against
so
the Guardians.
bizarre.
At some point, as
Yeah.
that sample size gets larger, there will be not a regression to the mean, there will be an ascension
Yes.
to the mean.
Has to
And
be,
by the way,
yeah.
Progressive Field is now a hitter's ballpark.
To right.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Like,
It is.
he has threatening power all fields. Like,
He can miss balls and they turn into home runs.
Give me John Kenzie over here any day.
Okay, that's good.
I just
Big Christmas.
I want to let you know that I'm like Jock Peterson too.
Yeah.
You love right-handed
I
pitching?
destroy right here.
So I love the destroyer baseballs, by the way.
Yeah.
DOB. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before, but I love it. So yeah, I want to see how our pitchers handle the entire Yankee lineup, but in particular, can they work around their big bats at the top and still get through innings? The saying is, man, that lineup flips fast. We were saying that when we played the Yankees in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Right.
You're watching it, you're like, you got to be kidding me. They're at the top again?
Right.
Already? That's because there's no break at the bottom.
They did have a big. So they acquired Jazz Chisholm from the Marlins,
Right.
who was playing great, and now
hit a
he's
home
hurt.
run every
He's out.
game.
He might miss the rest of the year.
Oh, I didn't hear he was out for the rest of the year.
I don't know that it's certain that he's out for the rest of the year, but he's certainly going to be out for a while. He's definitely not going to play in this series.
That helps.
So
We're not going to learn anything in terms of we didn't see that coming.
No.
But there's certain things that you can look for. And here's the other thing that we haven't talked about. Yankee Stadium, when you agreed Yankee fans, they remember that not only till their death, but when they are born again and they're living another life, they remember what you did against them.
Yes.
And I bring all that up to say this. Bo Naylor with remember that?
No, that was Josh.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Naylor.
Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Remember
did.
this?
He did do that.
I have friends, and I know you do too. They literally say, "Oh, please give us the Guardians in the playoffs. Please, we got stuff for Josh Naylor."
Yeah.
And you just never live that down. You
It's tough.
never ever live that down.
And there's no doubt, and I hate the Yankees, hate them to my core. There is an intimidation factor of the pinstripes and that stadium. There's something to it. It is hard to win a series in that stadium.
Especially in
it's
the playoffs.
very hard to do. And this
Yeah.
is not an amazing Yankee team. It's a good Yankee team.
Their
but it's not
pitching is
amazing.
they're suspect.
Yeah. I
They're
don't love their
suspect.
bullpen, but yeah, I mean, if I had, they would be my last choice.
And guess
of,
what?
Of any team I
I
want.
always say
I'm
this.
with you.
The other two games,
me the Orioles.
if you playing in the NBA, you can say, guys, we're gonna come out and play physical and play hard. In football, you can say, listen, we're gonna tackle, we're gonna be more physical. Man, when you playing baseball, ain't no such thing as physical.
No.
That ball is coming 98 miles an hour. Either you hit it or you don't. You go back to the dugout. There is nothing that you can just get amped up for.
Well, I'll tell you this: the Guardians do have one intimidation factor that most teams don't have, and that's Emmanuel Clase.
Yes.
He's intimidating on the mound. There's no doubt. And I had one Mr. Corey Crawford, Rutgers track coach, text me yesterday because he wanted to debate. I said that Clase's not going to win the Cy Young.
Did you see that he is now the favorite on ESPN Cy Young Predictor?
I did not see that, and I'm surprised.
He is now the favorite.
I can't imagine that he'll win it. Now, if he's going, he will get more votes than any closer's
By the way, I love
time.
that Corey does that. I love that.
I love it. Love it. It was a good conversation.
Why would he not?
Because if you have a
history,
because a starting pitcher with a 2.50 ERA 3 times the innings, and 3 times the strikeouts.
But this is a higher leverage position.
To that point, did you hear how? And I love this soundbite. I wish we had it. I should have requested it. Stephen Vogt was talking about the job of the closer. And he was talking about something that Brad Ausmus, the former catcher, now he's in baseball. He said something that Brad had told him 3 years earlier because Vogt was saying, but this position is unlike any in sports.
Yeah.
And Brad Ausmus described it this way. Anybody can step up on a card table and walk around. Card table's kind of flimsy, they can feel their way through it, and they can walk around and not have it collapse on them. But he said, now try doing it at 5,000 feet with no safety net. That's what being a closer is.
Yeah.
And I thought, when I heard him repeat that story, I thought, that's it. That's it. It is such a high leverage position. It's field goal kicker times 10. Because a field goal kicker is just one thing.
Bull, you got
coming on and kicking one kick.
You got to come on and you got to throw strikes now.
Right now. And he has done that.
Listen, it's hard to argue that he hasn't. He's had one of the all-time great seasons to this point. Now, if he has any chance, he's basically got to give up no runs the rest of the season.
He's got to continue what he's doing.
He's got to be. There's going to be no slip-ups at all.
You're right.
One bad
and he
performance.
Almost had one last weekend.
Right, and one bad performance, his ERA goes over 1. The only chance he has is to have an ERA under 1, where you look at the ERA and you say, "Oh my God, that's insane." But you've only had 3 closers win the Cy Young ever. Mariano Rivera.
No, 9 have won it. Relievers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
But the last closer to win, I believe, was Eric Gagne.
He was,
and 20 years ago.
And he had one of those perfect kind of seasons.
And
Mariano never did it, Bull.
Which is crazy. He's the best closers, no even debate.
But did you see the graphic that was going around social media earlier this week?
About Mariano and Clase?
Comparing their first 4 full seasons.
Yeah, it was right, yeah.
Now look, Mariano was able to do it for what, 20?
Yeah.
So he's got a long, long way to go before you can put him in that conversation. However, you can't get to his status unless you start like he did. Yeah, and he has.
There's nobody else to compare him to, frankly, right now. Mariano Rivera is the only player to compare him to.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's got to do it a lot longer.
Right.
I just don't think he can. The argument against Tarek Skubal, who's been the best pitcher in the American League, is that the Tigers are a middling team and they're not playing for anything. You got Corbin Burns. I think right now he'd probably finish 3rd. It's just when a lot of the guys who vote now are analytics-based, right? And when you have a pitcher that's throwing 3 times the innings and have 3 times the strikeouts, no matter how great you are as a closer, I think it's hard. There's, again, better case for him than any closer we've seen in a long time. I'd just be very surprised if he won.
You're right, and we're going to tease down to the TV show. We're going to do an extended conversation on Emmanuel Clase. Is he the most dominant player at his position right now? In other words, is there more room between Clase and the second best reliever than there is between the best starter and the second best starter, or the best third baseman? We'll do that.
Right.
But one thing I want to wrap this up with, because I was surprised when I looked at it. I look at this a couple times during the season, and I hadn't done it since June. I looked at ESPN's side predictor, and the amazing thing is Bull, they not only do they have Clase winning it, they have a point system, and I won't begin to try to say that I understand it. I don't. But on the point system, he's at 159.9, which is very, very high. Skubal's at 132.
Wow.
There is a huge gap right now.
And who's 3rd? Burns?
3rd is Burns, and he is at 125. So there's 30 points between Clase and Burns. I will say this. I always listen to Vegas on these things because they tend to know. Vegas leans heavily on history. He's still not the favorite to win the Cy in Vegas.
Yeah.
In fact, last time I looked, he had long odds.
Yeah.
But
It's like
Right.
8-1 right now. Last I saw.
Yeah.
where was Skubal? Do you remember?
I'll look it up
Okay.
by the end of the
Okay.
show.
All right.
All I want to know is this: Tanner Bybee gonna receive one Cy Young vote?
No,
No.
probably not.
No.
You're safe. You're
No.
safe, Ty.
No.
No.